Good evening, Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao, together with the Presidential Communications Office.
We bring you the latest, widest, and most comprehensive news coverage from the People's Television, IBC, Philippine News Agency, Philippine Information Agency, and Presidential Broadcast Service. I'm Princess Habiba Saripauda.
And I'm Joe Fernandez from Radyo Pilipinas. Welcome to
Balitang Pambansa.
Tonight's headlines. President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. calls on government employees to keep the Yuletide celebrations and gatherings simple in solidarity with typhoon victims. The Marcos administration is set to launch the Bagong Pilipinas Servicio Fair in Albay and Samar to provide assistance and services to residents as well as rehabilitation to storm-hit areas. President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. conducts an aerial inspection and distributes more than 50 million pesos worth of aid in Catanduanes. State Weather Bureau Pag-asa officially declares the start of the Northeast monsoon or Amihan season. President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. stresses the country's commitment to further bolster ties with the U.S. during his friendly and productive congratulatory call with President-elect Donald Trump. In consideration of all those who are still reeling from the effects of the recent weather disturbances that caused many Filipinos lose some of their loved ones, property, or means of living, the President urged government officials and employees to hold a more simplified Christmas party. Aside from showing sensitivity to the plight of others, this would also create an opportunity to donate the savings from the less lavish gathering to help those who are really in need. PTV's Clazel Padilla has more.
President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. has urged government officials and employees to keep Christmas parties and celebrations simple this year. He emphasized this is a gesture of solidarity with the millions of Filipinos grieving the loss of loved ones, homes, and livelihoods caused by the recent typhoons. Executive Secretary Lucas Bersamin called on government agencies to cut down expenses for holiday celebrations and instead donate the savings to those affected by the calamities. Bersamin highlighted that the true essence of Christmas lies in compassion, sharing blessings, and spreading joy to others. He added that as a united country, we have the opportunity to ease the sorrow of those in need this holiday season. He also assured no official mandate is necessary for this initiative, expressing confidence in the goodwill of government employees to voluntarily support the president's appeal. Romel Flores, a typhoon victim from Vera, Catanduanes, said,
Tama po si Mr. President na wag muna mag-celebrate ng mga Christmas party kasi dapat po mauna yung mga nasiraan po ng bahay, madinaanan po ng bagyo, dapat po unahin po natin.
While Mary Jean, an administrative assistant, was spared from the storm's fury and devastation, yet she expressed empathy for the struggles faced by her relatives in the Bicol region.
Mas kawawa po sila. Kailangan first priority po natin sila sa pagbibigay ng mga po.
Okay lang po sa inyo na wala pong lechon?
Okay naman po. Mas okay pong wala na. Kahit simple lang po.
When asked about foregoing exchange gifts and raffles during the celebrations,
Sa hirap ng buhay ngayon, ilaan mo na lang sa araw-araw na pangangailangan, sa hapag mo sa kakainin ng pamilya mo, yun na lang. Kasi ang 500 sa isang exchange gift, ilang kilong bigas na yun.
Yung ipaparapol niya, ibigay na lang doon sa nangangailangan. Mahalaga po ay kahit paano, kahit simple lang, basta't magkakasama-sama.
the Marcos administration reassured affected communities that they would feel the true spirit of Christmas. Relief efforts are in full swing, with the government working double time to provide aid, distribute relief goods, and help families rebuild their homes and livelihoods. From PTV Manila, Clazel Padilla, Balitang Pambansa.
Meanwhile, from the leader's mouth poured forth enlightenment born of compassion, empathy, and heightened sense of propriety that all his surrogates in the nation take stock and pay heed. PTV's Melanie Moras on the president urging all to share in the suffering and pain of the hundreds of thousands marginalized by the recent string of typhoons by shying away from lavish celebrations in this season of Christmas.
Several lawmakers agree with Malacanang's call for government agencies to avoid lavish Christmas celebrations this year as a show of solidarity with the victims of recent calamities. In a press conference, Manila 3rd District Representative Joel Chua and Taguig City 2nd District Representative Pami Zamora both emphasized that even in the House of Representatives, they do not hold grand events, especially now with their attention focused on helping those affected by disasters.
Never naman talaga kami nagkaroon ng magarbong selebrasyon dito. So, it's always been simple and we assure you that it will be even simpler.
I would encourage lahat ng mga congressman, no, pati sa kanilang mga district to do the same para at least medyo kung lalo-lalo na yung mga distrito na hindi naman nakaranas para at least to sympathize din naman.
As of now, 24 trucks laden with relief goods from the House of Representatives in partnership with the DSWD and Malacanang have reached the Bicol region to aid the typhoon victims. According to House Deputy Secretary General Sofonias Gabonada Jr., this coming Thursday and Friday, the government will also launch the Bagong Pilipinas Servicio Fair in various locations across Bicol and Samar to provide additional assistance to our countrymen there.
Well, sa Albay, it's a mini BPSF. Medyo yung tinap natin doon yung relevant agencies that can provide rehabilitation to our affected areas. But sa Samar, name it, from A to Z na services, nandun po lahat. No, ang i-offer natin, so passporting, clearances, financial assistance, scholarship, livelihood, licensing.
From PTV, Melalas Moras, Balitang, Pambansa.
The Department of Information and Communications Technology, or DICT, supports the call of President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. for government agencies to keep Christmas celebrations simple this year in solidarity with victims of recent tropical cyclones. According to Assistant Secretary Renato Paraiso, the DICT is considering making the celebration more meaningful by directing contributions towards a donation drive instead of an extravagant Christmas celebration. The DICT is also focusing on delivering aid to areas affected by Super Typhoon Pipito. Emergency response vehicles have been deployed, and DICT Secretary Ivan John Uy has ordered the emergency procurement of materials to repair infrastructure damaged by the typhoon. Moreover, they are closely monitoring areas that have lost communication lines through the National Telecommunications Commissions, or NTC.
It is part of the job he relishes to be at the forefront of providing help and government's resources and to show compassion and empathy to Filipinos in their moments of dire need. Hence, it is no surprise why the president always steps up to the plate for his constituents and marginalized fellow Filipinos in the fallout or aftermath of natural calamities and disasters. Like in Catanduanes, where he spearheaded distribution of aid, as PTV's Gab Villegas tells us more.
President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. led the distribution of aid to the victims of Super Typhoon Pipito in Virac, Catanduanes. President Marcos Jr. turned over 50 million pesos worth of financial aid to the provincial government of Catanduanes. According to the president, he saw the severe damage Typhoon Pipito visited on the province after he conducted an aerial inspection.
Tinignan namin sa helicopter, nakita namin kung ano yung mga naging damage. Tinignan namin ang sitwasyon dito sa inyo. Ang naging problema dito ay yung hindi masyado sa ulan, ngunit ang lalakas ng hangin.
The government will also continue to send relief items to evacuees still in evacuation centers.
Lahat po na nasa evacuation center na hindi pa makauwi ay binibigyan po namin nitong hanggat kailangan po ninyo. Walang deadline po ito.
The government will also pay attention to the reconstruction of homes destroyed by the typhoon. Catanduanes Governor Joseph Cua thanked the President for his visit to the province.
Ang inyong pagdating, mahal na Pangulo, ay patunay ng inyong dedikasyon sa agarang pagtulong sa amin at tunay na pagmamahal sa amin. Mula sa aming puso, kami po ay nagpapasalamat sa inyo
In addition to the distribution of food packs, Payout Management also distributed assistance to individuals in crisis situations or AICs and tulong panghanap buhay sa ating disadvantaged or tupad by the Department of Labor and Employment. Emily was overjoyed for being one of those who received aid after Typhoon Pipito hit their area.
Malaking tulong na po yan sa amin. Kasi sa panahon na ngayon, kapos na kapos po kami ngayon kasi wala po kami kita ngayon.
Jovi also thanked the President for the aid she received.
Masayang-masaya, sir, kasi kahit paano, naibsan ang namin, ang lungkot dahil nakapunta rito si President Bongbong Marcos. Nang pumunta siya, masayang-masaya kami, sir, kasi maraming tulong kaming matatanggap.
Various government agencies are also attempting to repair damaged infrastructure, clear roads, and restore power and communication lines after the storm. From People's Television Network, Bagong Villegas, Balitang, Pambansa.
Even though Pipito has already left the Philippine area of responsibility, the work for all concerned agencies helping those affected is definitely far from over. Aside from the continuous delivery of relief goods, government offices are working to assist the victims of recent weather disturbances to get back on their feet. PTV's Joshua Garcia has details.
Efforts to deliver aid to those affected by the series of typhoons in the country continue, even after Typhoon Pipito has exited the Philippine area of responsibility. According to the Department of Social Welfare and Development, they have received an additional 875 million pesos to replenish their Quick Response Fund. This fund will be used not only for the distribution of relief goods, but also for the recovery efforts of those affected by the recent typhoons.
Ang mahalaga po dito, masuportahan natin o we are able to contribute to the early recovery ng mga naapektuhan nating mga kababayan and support the restoration of their normal psychosocial functioning.
According to the latest update from the Philippine Air Force, the delivery of 3,000 family food packs using a C-130 cargo plane from Cebu to Catanduanes was a success. At the same time, they conducted a rapid damage assessment and needs analysis, or RDANA, with personnel from the Provincial Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Office, or PDRRMO, using their Black Hawk helicopters yesterday.
Makakaasa po kayo na patuloy po namin itingin pa ang aming kakayahan upang mas makapaghatid kami ng tulong sa mga ganitong mga oras ng pangangailangan.
Meanwhile, the Philippine Coast Guard has confirmed that after Typhoon Pipito exited the Philippine area of responsibility, the suspension on ship travel has been lifted. There have also been no reports of stranded passengers or sea vessels, including roll-off, roll-on cargo ships. According to the PCG, the preemptive evacuation efforts and the continuous coordination among government agencies proved crucial in ensuring a more effective response, especially during times of disaster.
Tayo po ay patuloy na nakikipag-ugnayan sa ating mga kasamahan na ahensya dito sa gobyerno in providing the most important needs ng ating mga kababayan.
According to the latest data from the DSWD, over 115,000 families are still temporarily staying in 3,267 evacuation centers across regions 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, Calabarzon, Mimaropa, and the Cordillera Administrative Region. The department assured it continues to deliver assistance and is actively pre-positioning and stockpiling relief supplies, particularly in areas frequently affected by disasters. From PTV Manila, Joshua Garcia for Balitang, Pambansa.
President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. said the government will continue to provide aid for victims of the recent tropical cyclones. The chief executive assured food bags will continue for as long as needed, with no set of deadline. Furthermore, President Marcos Jr. vowed continued support, ensuring food bags for all displaced individuals, including those staying with neighbors, relatives, and friends.
A very important, or perhaps even the most crucial part of government's post-disaster response is the assessment of the actual damage caused by the successive weather disturbances. PTV's Ryan Lisiges gives us a rundown on all the important figures regarding this matter from the NDRMC in this report.
Damage to agriculture has now reached over 8.5 million pesos following the series of typhoons that hit the country. This amount is based on damage to over 400 hectares of crops. Around 800 farmers were affected by the typhoons. 20 cities and municipalities in Luzon have been placed under a state of calamity. This comes after the devastation left behind by the successive typhoons that hit the country. particularly Typhoon Nika, Super Typhoon Ophel, and Super Typhoon Pipito. In the latest data from the National Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Council or NDRRMC, 11 areas in the Cordillera Administrative Region are under a state of calamity. In Cagayan Valley, 8 areas have been placed under a state of calamity due to the severe impact of the typhoons. One area in Central Luzon is also under a state of calamity. With the declaration of a state of calamity, local governments can now utilize their calamity funds to assist affected residents in recovery. 7 reported fatalities were attributed to Super Typhoon Pipito after a house in Ambagyo, Nueva Vizcaya was buried by a landslide. 7 family members died after being buried alive, according to the PDRRMO. The fatalities include 2 children, ages 5 and 8. 3 family members survived the incident. It was found out that the victim's house was located on the mountainside. In the latest report, close to 500,000 families were affected by the typhoons, equivalent to almost 2 million individuals. Relief efforts from the government are ongoing. Humanitarian aid distributed to the typhoon victims has reached nearly 80 million pesos. From PTV, Ryan Lisiges, Balitang Pambansa, Kamagit.
On the other news, Pagasa has officially declared the start of the northeast monsoon or amihan season. According to Pagasa, the high pressure in Siberia has strengthened, causing strong northeasterly winds that affect northern Luzon today until tomorrow. These winds are expected to continue for the next 2 weeks, bringing cooler air to much of the country. The northeast monsoon is affecting extreme northern Luzon, while easterlies are affecting the eastern section of the country. Batanes will have cloudy skies with rains. In Babuyan Islands, cloudy skies with scattered rains and isolated thunderstorms will be felt, caused by the shear line. Easterlies will bring cloudy skies with scattered rains and thunderstorms in Caraga and northern Mindanao, while in Bicol region, eastern Visayas and Davao region will have partly cloudy to cloudy skies with isolated rain showers or thunderstorms. Metro Manila and the rest of the country will experience partly cloudy to cloudy skies with isolated rain showers or thunderstorms due to localized thunderstorms.
Coming right up, President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. and U.S. President-elect Donald Trump tackled the two nations' strong relations during a phone call.
BTI's Farm to Market Road project is set to accelerate transport of agricultural products in Lapuyan, Zamboanga del Sur. More stories when Balitang Pambansa returns.
Sa loob ng mahigit 30 taon, para kay Aling Noning, ang kanilang sakahan ay parte na ng kanyang buhay dahil simula pa noong 1986, dito na niya naigugol ang kanyang hanap buhay sa pagsasaka at ito ang naging instrumento para sa kanya na mapagtapos nila ang kanilang 4 na anak. Siya ay isang ginang na mula sa bayan ng Lux, Gutalak sa probinsya ng Zamboanga del Norte.
Dako kay gikatabang namo ning Agrarian Reform Program, panghatagan mi og mga seedlings. Dako kay to gikatabang namo kay kani kadtong mga gamay kaayong mga butang nakapahuman gud mi sa among mga nakay amo manggitikan ning maong luna. Di naman po na magtanom og lubi. Mao ning makita niyo karon nga kalubin-an na gyud ni. Karon 70 anyos nako. 38 nako ka tuig nga gauma.
Mahigit 8,000 titulo at mahigit 12,000 ektarya na rin ang naibahagi sa ating mga magsasaka sa rehiyon ng Zamboanga simula ng nanungkulan si Pangulong Marcos. Mahigit 4,000 benepisyaryo rin ang nakatanggap ng kanilang mga titulo noong araw na ito. Ito ay sumasaklaw sa mahigit 7,000 ektarya.
Ug karon dako kay kong pasalamat sa atong sekretary sa DAR ug labi na gyud sa atong mahal nga pangulo pagsuporta niya para sa kabuhian namong mga magbabaon.
May mga nagsasabi na ang Pilipinas daw is a rich country pretending to be poor. Siguro hindi tama yun. We are actually a rich country which do not realize that we are rich. Mga kaibigan, samahan niyo po ako ng ating Tuklas Yaman.
The Office of Civil Defense, or OCD, assured the public that despite challenges posed by typhoon fatigue affecting both storm victims and responders from consecutive tropical cyclones, disaster managers and responders remain dedicated to their duties. Civil Defense Administrator Undersecretary Ariel Nepomuceno acknowledged responder fatigue and sickness, explaining they manage this through rotation and sending personnel from affected regions to areas in need, ensuring continued assistance. OCD Assistant Secretary Cesar Idio recognized the physical fatigue felt by disaster responders and managers across all levels of government because of their continuous disaster risk management efforts. He noted the cooperation among government agencies, providing additional personnel and the presence of leaders like the President, National Defense Secretary, and Civil Defense Administrator who inspire responders to continue their duties.
It provides 40% of the forest cover of the country, whose vast expanse of nearly 1.5 million hectares sucks up huge amounts of carbon dioxide in the air. Better still, it is a fortress of protection, 340 miles or 540 kilometers long from Cagayan province down to the foothills of Rizal that provides cushion or barrier to the powerful winds of super typhoons. PTV's Rod Lagusad has more on the mother of osos or sheras that has protected countless lives and even wider destruction in property and livelihood.
Within just a month, 6 tropical cyclones struck the country, leaving tens of thousands badly affected by excess rain, flooding, landslides, damaged infrastructure, and a ruined agriculture industry. The last of them, Super Typhoon Pepito, that slammed into the country over the weekend, first made landfall in Catanduanes before ravaging northern Luzon. Despite the storm's strength, the Sierra Madre mountain range helped reduce its effects. According to Pagasa, the mountainous terrain played a role in weakening the storm. This was a huge help, especially for Luzon, which has been hit by tropical cyclones multiple times prior. The Sierra Madre is the longest mountain range in the country, stretching over 540 kilometers from Cagayan province to Quezon province. Along with this, the interaction of the storm with the land is a major factor to weaken it, as the landmass of Luzon is vast compared to smaller islands in other parts of the country.
Nag-transfer po siya from sea to land. Ang nangyayari po, wala na pong fuel or energy na nakukuha ang bagyo dahil wala na nga pong moisture na, wala nang evaporation na nangyayari. So pag from sea to land, lumipat siya at medyo may kahabaan po yung areas na babagtasin niya po papunta ulit sa dagat, ay talaga pong hihina po ang bagyo.
As the sea's warm waters is the primary source of a storm's power. Meanwhile, it is expected 1 or 2 more storms will enter the Philippine area of responsibility next month before the year ends. From PTV, Rod Lagusad, Balitang Pambansa.
President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. spoke to United States President-elect Donald Trump over the phone, where they discussed the long-standing alliance between the two countries. According to Philippine news agency's report, the chief executive said he expressed the country's desire to further deepen the ties with the U.S. He also mentioned informing the U.S. President-elect that many Filipinos in the U.S. voted in his favor. The president further shared his intention to meet up with Trump as soon as possible. The chief executive revealed that Trump asked about former First Lady Imelda Marcos, who is a close friend of his.
But anyway, it was a very good call. It was a very friendly call, very productive. And I'm glad that I was able to do it. And I think that President-elect Trump was also happy to hear from the Philippines.
The Project DAPAT or Dole Action Plan and Transition Project Job Fair for displaced internet gaming licensees workers is being held in Pasay City. Department of Labor and Employment Secretary Bienvenido Laguesma delivers the keynote address during the opening ceremony. The 2-day job fair, featuring over 12,000 openings from 790 employers across different industries, aims to help displaced workers secure new employment after President Ferdinand Marcos Jr.'s order to ban the operation of all IGLs, previously known as POGO, in the country. Meanwhile, this National Children's Month, the Department of Social Welfare and Development in Mimaropa is promoting positive parenting and disciplining a child to avoid child abuse. Philippine Information Agency Mimaropa, Diane Gorimbalem has the details.
After studying, the 10-year-old Lily goes straight to playing like other children. Sometimes, she gets carried away while playing and makes mistakes. Whenever this happens, her mother Noemi acknowledges her efforts and encourages her to try again. This kind of disciplinary method to promote positive child discipline and combat child abuse is what the Department of Social Welfare and Development, or DSWD Mimaropa, is advocating for all parents in the region. Maria Susana Sugabaen of DSWD Mimaropa said that corporal punishment, such as hitting children, or any similar practice as a form of discipline has negative impacts on children.
Pagdating sa child discipline, of course, we advocate po talaga yung positive parenting or yung gentle parenting kasi hindi na talaga tayo naniniwala sa corporal punishment, no? Kasi alam natin, madami ng mga studies, research na hindi talaga maganda ang apekto ng pang-aabuso sa bata within the family.
DSWD conducts regular parenting sessions for Pantawid Pamilya Pilipino program or 4-piece beneficiaries. Sugabain said that even non-beneficiaries are invited to attend. Sugabain said that since 2020, there have been 601 reported cases of child victims of violence in Mimaropa. In addition to online discussions and training on gentle parenting, DSWD has prepared capability-building activities for youth, parents, and social workers for the protection of children. From Philippine Information Agency, Mimaropa, Diane Francis C. Gorimbalem for Balitang, Pambansa.
The first farm-to-market road project in Lapuyan will help transport the agricultural products to the market much easier and can boost economic activities. This is the initiative of the Department of Trade and Industry under the RAPID program. Philippine Information Agency Zamboanga del Sur Harvey Bangayan has more.
Farmers and residents in the remote barangays of Bulawan and Sayog in Lapuyan, Zamboanga del Sur now have improved access to markets with the start of the 22.5 million Bulawan to Sayog Farm-to-Market Road project. This initiative, led by the Department of Trade and Industry through the Rural Agro-Enterprise Partnership for Inclusive Development and in partnership with the local government unit, spans 0.58 kilometers. It is the first farm-to-market infrastructure project approved in the province under DTI RAPID. The project is primarily funded by the International Fund for Agricultural Development at 95%, with the LGU covering the remaining 5%. It is expected to ease the transport of agricultural products and boost the local economy.
Kini nga project dako gyud kay kini ikatabang. Gani dugay na niyang nangandoy ang mga tawo sa Bulawan nga diin makabaton gayud og project sa manini nga dalan. Usa nga hinungdan mao nga masayon sa mga tawo pag-ari diri sa cruising, labi na sa ilang mga produkto.
DTI-9's Regional Director Alzamir Ailipay highlighted the agency's role in creating linkages for the farmers.
We are going to prepare the market kasi may road na tayo. Ang market nandyan lang.
These projects are part of DTI's ongoing efforts to strengthen agricultural value chains through the RAPID program that promotes agro-enterprise development across the country. From the Philippine Information Agency, Zamboanga del Sur, Harvey Bangayan for Balitang, Pambansa.
And that concludes our rundown of the latest, widest, and most comprehensive news and information from all across the nation. From Radyo Pilipinas, I'm Joe Fernandez.
This is your trusted news source, always ready to inform and serve the Filipino people. Catch Balitang Pambansa again tomorrow at 7 a.m., 12 noon, 6 p.m., and 9:30 p.m. for more updates and developments. From Radyo Pilipinas, I'm Princess Habiba Saripauda, and this is
Balitang Pambansa.